It's 9:11 and it's 9:08 a.m. and this is for the interests of the IMF, the ECB, the UN, COE, all of those individuals in Europe that are aware of the huge demonstrative obstruction of ASBOs in Tralee, County Kerry that are still overstepping the line and that are still really being cheeky with their presence and proximity where it really is highly unwelcome and really unsafe, especially when they haven't been addressing their dirty, dirty, dirty debts and their dirty, dirty linen that they have been hanging out to dry. So they have caused consternation. They have not got the law or the faith. They are offending very sacred laws, very old laws, and they are upsetting people's families. They are being disruptive in people's families. So unfortunately, the recovery that I initiated, as I've said, that has saved people's health from people that were contaminating society, and the wealth that was being channeled in ways that wasn't of good practice, to say the least. All that wealth that was recovered and that health that has been healing as a consequence of my humanitarian contributions, that unfortunately mentally ill individuals think they're going to just turn the plot upside down and tell a different story and another dirty lie with regard to the reality of these circumstances. So there's a very dangerous matter in Tralee, County Kerry. People aren't really working with the facts, so therefore there's a little fairy tale going on that makes little children unsafe. When a child is illegally separated from his mother, that's a very dangerous crime. So I hope the culprits in January 2017 do not seriously think for one moment that there is a disposability or a get out of jail clause. This past 7 years have been hard on my child, wherever he has been, I'm sure, without the proper care of his original sole provider. I single-handedly, from the very day that he was brought into this world, cared for my child's needs on my own, financially, physically, spiritually, emotionally, in every sense. So it's quite dangerous that my child has been exposed to a harmful circumstance that isn't within the pretext or context of the law. The representatives of the Garda Síochána that haven't been respectful to the women and children of this situation, the charter rights, that's not going to be helping other people's lives, offending my son and I. So there are people that are of a very dangerous mindset that is unhealthy and unhelpful. And as I've mentioned, there are people insisting on overstepping the line with me. And I don't know if they've known already what kind of a casualty they've caused themselves, and they're not above the law. So they're around my proximity, they're intruding upon me, and they're shameless of their obstruction. And they owe me so much more than money. It's embarrassing. So for those people that have been saved from any contaminants, that was an occurrence that has been prevented, as well as the extensive channeling of cash that just wasn't very morally or ethically correct. So this is particularly for the interest of the IMF, the ECB. I'm experiencing ASBOs that think they have a position in society with right protocol by money laundering and stealing wealth from me and walking onto my farms. It's the same ding dong. It hasn't changed. Neither has their conduct. So they're within a proximity of me that is unsafe for their own families. They're offending the law, and they're taking credit for health and wealth recovery that they haven't responsible transactions participated in that initiative of mine. So I'm concerned about anybody that has benefited from my humanitarian endeavour facilitating crime against me. I have protection entitlements, I have privacy entitlements, and there are loudmouths in this community bad mouthing my good name, and they're not living off clean money, and they haven't done a decent day's work. So I'm just wondering, how do Child and Family Agency feel about their reputation in society with the experiences young children have been having since the abduction of my child in January 2017. Does TUSA Child and Family Agency feel that it has a good, secure, steady setting and a firm hold of its ethics, principles and values in Irish society? I can't reiterate it enough. The Garda Síochána know that my son is unlawfully from my care. That child that I gave birth to and cared for single-handedly, he has been traumatised. Now, UNICEF, you have a purpose in this mission as well. Whether you realise it or not, there are people talking about sustainability, environmentalism and climate change, and they haven't even done the basics of humanitarian conduct properly. So thugs coming out of their addiction really aren't safe expressing their thug behaviour with me. They have children of their own. I would advise them to respect their children and respect their deaths and respect their own safety in society by trying to work within the premise of the law. So if the Garda Síochána are only too well aware of what has already happened as a consequence of thugs and their mouths of slander running ahead of them with dirty debts behind them that they're running away from as well, I might add, then everyone in position of authority would be acting more smart and intelligently and wisely. So I can't express it enough. There's no lawful care order out on my child. I'm the only person that was looking after my son. So I'm just wondering, how do the Garda Síochána feel about their little girls being made unsafe in a society where I have contributed to social reform, sustainability, climate change, the whole shebang? And do the Garda Síochána honestly and seriously think that for one moment that this crime against my child and I to serve the grabber and gripers living off my wealth and my worth, do the Garda Síochána really feel that this is a safe initiative to commit crimes against me? My child is to be located. I'm Royal Protocol. Now, in the best interest of the Garda Síochána's daughters, it's always more sensible, intelligent and wise to observe Royal Protocol, and especially as I have such a clean track record. Now, we all know the laws of defamation are there as well to safeguard people's rights. So those people that aren't respecting the proximity, privacy, protection and protocol, like is in the Brexit negotiations that I'm responsible for initiating, all of those circumstances, the Garda Síochána, I really have to advise you from the utmost of sincerity. It's 7 years since my son was taken illegally. No paperwork, no barrister, no trial, no reason, no rhyme, and no legal process. UNICEF, UN, there is a problem in Tralee with child abduction from my circumstances. I own it doesn't make a difference. I'm Royal Protocol. So the basis of the matter is, until my child is located, every day that I tolerate crime makes the Garda Síochána children very unsafe. I've been on crime prevention. So there's no one really smart slandering, stealing and stalking and then being of blasphemy and sacrilege to gain a bit of land. It's really serious. And people in my proximity that are assuming to be of thought police, I think you need to get mental health assistance if you think you're of some thought police. I have a very quiet, reclusive, safe circumstance in a very deplorable, disgraceful situation where people haven't honoured their debts and instead delude themselves, burying themselves in their pit in the sand. So those with obligation, locate my child in the best interest of your girl's safety, really and honestly and truly. There have been people put at risk already. The UNICEF groups and the European parliamentarians, you're all aware of what corruption does. You know what the corruption has done already in County Kerry with other people's money being stolen from them. And we know as well that they're mentally disturbed asbos of thuggery that think they're throwing their weight around on other people's property and bringing down everybody's standards and integrity. Other people's integrity have been compromised, and people threatening bomb strikes like in the Ukraine, as has happened just a half an hour ago, that has preempted this upload. Those people that are speaking violently and threatening violence, I'm a peacekeeper. Judge not, lest you be judged. Cast not the first stone unless you are completely without fault and blame. So anyone thinks that they're making insinuations or character assassinations of my good name as a peacekeeper and as a pacifist that has saved people's lives, I'd advise everyone to be very, 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 very careful. There's more to life than wealth, but the wealth that I've recovered is more than just health. People have peace of mind and safety in certain circumstances where they couldn't even get out of bed in the morning. So some people that have a new lease of life might remind themselves very promptly all of the developments that have initiated, and anyone telling themselves some kind of a story, God help us and spare us. I don't know if they'll be able to go near the church. But those people that are telling themselves the stories about anything that is contrary to the reality of what has happened between 2017 that initiated Brexit negotiations and that initiated COVID-19, anyone working with the fallacy, and I hate to tell you, you're only fooling yourself and making a fool of other people. So if you've an inch of respect for intelligence, have a bit of smartness. The issue of my child unlawfully from my care is a criminal offence. UNICEF, you know this as well as I do. I'm an educator with a very clean track record. I'm also a mental health practitioner, tolerating ASBOs with mental illness. I'm also a married mother that is owed very dangerous money. So I'm living in poverty because of mentally ill, disgusting people bringing down the standards of society and thinking they're smart. If that's not stupid, I don't know what is. So if there are people that know how to do their sums and know how to read properly, they might get a little bit more clever about who they think they're fooling around with. Those people that are spending any money stolen from me, I hate to tell you, but you're a highly unsafe person. And as I said, if the guards don't locate the child that I gave birth to and that was illegally separated from me in January 2017, well, dear God, I can't trust what safety there will be in society for the little girls of those guards. Society's being made unsafe with the law being offended. So the point of the matter is, anyone that's of obstruction, you're only hurting yourselves. Would you kindly have a little bit of a sense and sensibility chat with yourselves and a morning cup of coffee, and stay out of my proximity where you've no right to be. And whether I take photos or not, that's my own personal business. I'm of royal protocol. So anyone that's offending me and stealing money and slandering, that's living off all the social reform from me, be very careful about discussing anything of what I'm taking photos of. It's very dangerous. It's upsetting creative intellectual property integrity. So this is just an update for anyone that's got an intelligent quotient that would be worth respecting with regard to human rights and democracy, civil rights, and the constitution of this country. So hopefully everyone might see the light rather than getting hurt at the end of the day with bad behaviour all the way. Sad sign of the time.